Hey guys, it's Chris here, and normally when I try to do these videos, I try to make them upbeat and funny and that kind of stuff, but this is going to be a little bit of a dour topic. But I promise there's going to be a lot of information here, and especially if you're not yet an FBA seller and you're just thinking about it, or if you're just getting started, I'm going to be giving some really big beginner or people that aren't even beginner tips in this video, and really hopefully make you maybe consider what you're planning on doing, okay? Now, this video is called Why You Can't Really Start FBA with $100 Anymore, because gurus love to tell you that, but I'm going to do a follow-up to this where I'm actually going to talk about how you really can. And I'm going to do it in a way where I'm not making any money. I'm not making any money from this video. I'm not doing this for financial gain. I'm doing this because I kind of hate when people lie to beginners and say, oh, you can start FBA with $100. Well, this is what's called the blueprint fallacy. So I invented this, by the way, so copyright, trademark, patent pending, okay? So don't steal my shit. What a blueprint fallacy is that if I give you the ingredients that I use to get started and you follow the steps that I took, so like a recipe or a blueprint, you will get the same result. Not true. FBA does not work that way. See, everybody that's doing like I started with $100, well, they started like 5 years ago. And Amazon has changed a massive amount in 5 years. And it's so funny to me because this seems like this badge of excellence of how little money you started. And that's kind of where I started the joke where people would always ask like, oh, how much money did you start with? And I would always say a small $1 million loan for my father. Because it's actually really, besides making fun of getting a small $1 million loan from your father, it's actually making fun of the people that are like, I started with $0, I started with $100 or whatever. They always leave out the fact that they started a long time ago, so they've had a long time to get exponential growth in their business, okay? They did not start with $100 and then sell hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, and I know that most people realize that. But the transition is going to be much harder than it ever was before, okay? Number one. Number two, a lot of times these guys that are, telling you, oh, I started with nothing, they leave something out, okay? And I know this business well enough to know that, okay? And I have worked with people, like there's another guru that I've worked with who she will tell you up and down she started with $100. But she leaves out she also started with her husband's unlimited Amex, which I don't think really counts as starting with $100, but, she'll tell you she did. And there's other people that leave out like, oh yeah, you started with $100, but also you had like $5,000 in textbooks to sell. I mean, let's not lie here, guys. I started with $3,500 plus some textbooks plus some stuff laying around the house. Full transparency, that's how I got started. So, without further ado, let me tell you how it's a lot harder now to get started with $100 than it used to be. But then watch the follow-up video to this where I will actually show you how it can be done and some steps you can take to actually get started with a very limited budget in FBA. Reason number one. When I first got started, Amazon only ever split my shipments to 3 centers. That was it. AVP, which is about 2 hours from where I live, Richmond, which is about 6 hours from where I live, and then one out in California, which I don't know how long that is from where I live. All of my stuff went about 80% to AVP, about 50, the remaining 5% to Richmond, and the remaining 5% to California. So I would ship like 10 boxes to AVP, 1 to Richmond, 1 to California. In fact, probably I sold even less to California, but it wasn't that expensive. Now I'm seeing people that they're doing a shipment and they're sending stuff to like 8 different places. Well, the more places you send stuff, the more expensive it is to get out there. If you have a very limited budget, keep in mind that the minimum cost for a box to be sent to Amazon is about $5. It's a little bit less than $5, but it's about $5. I don't actually know what the actual number is. I'd have to like add a bunch of shipments up and make them 1 pound and stuff, but you get the idea. So if you're sending 7 to 7 different warehouses, that's $35 minimum, okay? If you have $100 to start with, kiss goodbye 35% of your sourcing budget because you just spent $35 in shipping. And that's the other thing that's the difference between a $100 shipment and a $10,000 shipment. It's way cheaper to send in big shipments because I pay way less per item for my shipping. Okay, so if you're sending out $35 worth of shipping, if you're spending that and sending it to 7 different warehouses, you send a 1 pound shipment out and you pay $5 for it, you just paid $5 a pound in shipping. That's a crazy amount of money. I pay 5 cents a pound shipping because I sell enough volume that I ship LTL. In fact, I pay even less than that. It's closer to like 3 cents a pound. So that's something that a lot of people don't think about, the cost of getting your stuff from where you are to Amazon. And as a beginner, your stuff is going to split way more. You're not going to have enough inventory to really get big packages going. The most economical way to ship stuff to Amazon is 50 pounds. Well, 48, because Amazon sucks at weighing stuff. They always have that thumb on the scale. So you want to limit your packages to 48, but 48 pounds is the most economical weight to ship to Amazon. Anything less than 48 pounds is costing you more money than it should, especially if it's like 1 or 2 pounds. Not even worth it at that point because you're probably not making enough money on those items. Okay, here's your first problem. 5 years ago, when I first sent in my first shipments, I got paid within 2 weeks of my first item leaving my house to getting paid by Amazon. 2 weeks, 14 days. Now, you expect to wait 6, if not 8 weeks. Okay, I don't know why the verification process has gotten so long, but it has. So, if you have a limited funds, okay, and you ship out that $100, you're not going to get it back for at least 6 to 8 weeks. And that is a huge problem. I have seen people go into groups and say, I am spending my food money. I am considering putting a note on my car. I'm considering a payday loan to do this. I did the math. I expect to get paid in 2 weeks. And everybody's like, yeah, do that. You'll make money. It's going to be 6 to 8 weeks, guys. Minimum. Okay? I don't know when you're watching this video. It might be longer when you even watch this video. And it's going to get longer in Q4. I know that because other things have gotten longer with Amazon. So don't expect to get your first payout in 2 weeks. It doesn't happen anymore. So here's another big problem. When I first got started, I could ship stuff on Thursday or Friday and get it started to be selling on Monday. Yeah, that's never going to happen again, guys. It's just not that way anymore. I mean, now I'm lucky to have stuff checked in and for sale within a week, if I'm lucky. Now, if you're a beginner seller, you send out that first shipment, you got those 6 to 8 weeks to wait to get your money back. Well, that's assuming you start shipping or selling right away. Well, if it takes 6 to 8 weeks to get your stuff checked in, you could be looking at 2 to 3 or even 4 months before you even get paid for the stuff that you shipped in. Well, if you have $100 or even a few $100s to get started with, it could take you months to even recoup any of that money. Okay? Not a great way to go. So you really have to be aware of this. This is not something that people talk about because they're trying to sell selling. Okay? I'm really making the most downer video I've ever made and almost discouraging people from doing this, but I'm also trying to be realistic with you. I don't want people to get into this and waste their money and waste their time because there's other ways you can make money online. FBA might not be the right one for you. So another way that used to be way easier is pretty much nothing was gated. Okay, so back in the day when I first got started, and I keep saying that, when I first got started, I had to walk uphill both ways to get to Walmart clearance section. Well, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, Pink, any brands that people are looking for, Lego, toys, all that stuff, all ungated. Everything was ungated. There was no IP claims. There was hardly any counterfeit claims. I mean, it was the Wild West. Now, health and personal care, sexual wellness, and grocery, those were all gated. Clothing and shoes, also gated. So I think clothing and shoes is ungated now. But for grocery and health and personal care, all I had to do was submit receipts to get ungated. That's super easy. Like literally receipts. I got mine from Kmart, and I got ungated by I had to buy 3 items, 10 of each, 3 times. So it was a little bit more that I had to buy, but I literally bought sticks of gum. I bought 10 sticks of gum, 3 different varieties on 1 receipt, submitted that, went to Target, same thing, went to Walmart, same thing, got approved that day. That's another thing. Ungating requests got approved super fast. That is not how that's going to work. And you could literally sell anything, like Nike, all that was open. So that's something people don't talk about, because it used to be a situation where you just wander down to the Nike outlet store and buy everything, sell it right on day one from Amazon. Doesn't work that way anymore. Plus, talking about like Nike outlets, that they have made it so that it's impossible, well, they're trying to make it so that it's impossible to resell out of Nike outlets. They're trying, they're not successful, but it is much harder than it used to be. I used to be able to go to a Nike outlet and literally fill my cargo van with shoes, or fill, back when I had my station wagon, fill my station wagon. I used to take U-Hauls and go and hit up outlets. You can't do that anymore. They block you. You can only buy like 5 pairs of shoes per day. Your friends and family only work so many times. All that stuff, not how it used to be. But now, that's how it is. So here's another way that it was way easier to start with a smaller budget 5 years ago. Utilities like repricers, not only were they way cheaper, in fact, I used to pay $25 a month for App Eagle, which doesn't even exist anymore. It's now inform.co, and it's like $150 to $250 a month, but I used to pay 25 bucks for it, so like a tenth the price. It was also way more effective because nobody else used repricers. So if you're the only one on a listing that was using a repricer, it was not only cheaper to get one, but way more effective because nobody else used them. So now everybody uses them, and they're like 5 to 10 times more expensive. I think Aura is $100 now. BQ used to be like 12 bucks. Now it's over 100 bucks. All of that stuff has gotten way more expensive. So if you're a beginner seller and you have a limited budget, you're probably not going to use them, which kind of screws you over because you're competing against people like myself that do use the latest technology, and it's not going to go well for you. It'll go very well for me though. So another way that things are way different than they used to be is I now have a YouTube channel. So like and subscribe, because I like to make videos like this, but normally my videos are kind of funny and inspirational and like not this. But like and subscribe, watch my other videos, it really helps me out, and let me know if you're a long-time seller what you think the difference is between now and when you first got started. And if you're a beginner seller, let me know if you think I'm wrong on this. I'm always interested to know what other people think about FBA selling. Now, last, but definitely not least, and I'm never going to say that Amazon is oversaturated, but it is important to understand that if you're going to go to Target, go to Walmart, grab the clearance items, Amazon's oversaturated. It doesn't work anymore. You won't really make money on it, because although it looks like you will make money on it, everybody else and their mother does it, because it's so easy. It's been so oversaturated. Now, if you're going to go out there and work hard and sell good products, Amazon's not oversaturated. In fact, so many people want to say it's oversaturated. It's not. But if you're not going to put in the effort and do a good job and be interesting and sell interesting products and add value, all that crap, if you're not going to do that, it's oversaturated. And if you have a limited budget, it's definitely oversaturated because you can't absorb the losses or the reduction in profit like other people can. If I'm selling something that I sourced from Walmart and all of a sudden the price tanks on it, I can decide, you know what, I'm willing to break even on this. But if you're in that period where you're waiting on your money, all that crap, and you really can't afford to break even, well, you're going to hold it for a while. And that's a problem. So you definitely want to make sure that you're being more, creative with your sourcing with FBA than I used to have to be. I mean, I used to just go into Walmart's, buy out the clearance sections at Target, make tens of thousands of dollars a month just doing that. And I hardly ever shop clearance at Target and Walmart anymore. In fact, I just did the other day when Nicole was visiting. We hit up Target and we bought not a bunch, but we bought a good amount of clearance. And it was like, wow, I haven't de-stickered Target stuff in forever. Well, first time for everything. But if that's your whole plan, you're going to have a really bad time. So I began this video. I said I would make a follow-up video and share some tips on how to get started with pretty much no budget. I promise I will do that. That'll be the next video that I put out, and it's going to be the follow-up to this. And I'm going to show really good tips and strategies and resources for people that don't have a big budget and want to get started doing this. I'm not trying to make this video to tell you not to do FBA. That's never what I want to do. I think that this business is the best business I've ever done. I've been in e-commerce for 18 years. I've sold millions of dollars on Etsy, on eBay, on my own website, on Amazon. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. I prefer FBA over all of them. But I want to have realistic expectations, and I want you guys to have realistic expectations. So what I'm going to do in the follow-up is I'm going to talk to some people and share some resources with you guys on how to get started with zero. Okay? And that's going to be really interesting because it's not going to be what you think it is. Anyway, guys, I hope I didn't dissuade anybody from doing FBA. Watch for the follow-up. I'm really proud of you guys if you actually watch this, because I know that sometimes you can get tunnel blindness when you have like this idea in your head. I know, because this happens to me. I get like, oh yeah, I want to do it. I want to do it. That's going to be great. I'm going to make so much money. And you don't listen to other opinions that maybe could dissuade you from doing it. So if you watch this video and you're somebody that's thinking about doing FBA, I'm super proud of you, and you're going to do really good because you're getting that extra information in, so you're going to be able to make the really good informed decisions that you're going to have to make. So thank you for watching, but get out there, make a lot of money, make me proud, make some money, guys. Talk to you later, and I hope that this wasn't too much of a downer.